Hello, I'm Emeralia, and today I'm going to be talking about the character Luca and why I think he is not as bad as some top players think he is. So, as a decoder, I agree with the top players. Their arguments being his decoding power is not enough to be a good decoder, which I agree with, because the most you're getting out of him if you're not transmitting, because he gets plus 10 decoding when he's on a connection not transmitting. And so most of the time you'll be transmitting, so you either get no decoding buff, because you'll be losing 10% from low, or 10% decoding loss, because you'll lose 20% from high, or 5% from a medium, or you'll lose 5% from a medium transmission. So it is true, as a main decoder, he might not be that good, but what makes him good is two reasons: his kiting ability and his harassing ability, and I'll explain that. So his kiting, obviously, he doesn't have any kiting debuffs, so give him broken windows and he can kite a lot longer, plus he has a shock, which some players don't think is enough to impact the game, but as a person who has played Luca for a bit, it can help you kite once you have it, and not having it is a little stressful and a little panicky. And so if you know how to kite, you can maybe get 60 seconds off, or 40 to 60 if you're doing pretty good. Now on to the second reason why I think Luca is good. It's because of his harassing ability. Now you might be thinking, well, he's a decoder, how can he harass? Well, like I said, he does have that one shock, and that one shock can change the game. If you shock them while they're in balloons, and then you body block, you're like a mini forward, or a prospector, or an enchantress. Like, you have potential to change the game with one shock. Now, I wouldn't recommend going out of your way to do that. Like, it's more of a last minute thing, or if you're in the right place at the right time, but it can change games if pulled off correctly. Like you will see later in this gameplay that's going on in the background, he's going to go back on the Merc, and the Merc will be dead on chair, and I'll be nearby, and I do end up saving him. So I used the shock. The hunter, you'll see, will be trying to force the shock out so that he can pick up safely, and since I didn't use it, it bought so much time for the team. Like, I play forward, I main forward, so I know how to conserve items and harass while keeping a safe distance. And that literally, you'll see, this will change the game. It will change it from maybe tie or loss to win. Like, it's insane. As long as you know how to use it right, one stun can change the game. And there's also other minor things that Luca can do to counter some hunters, like Mad Eyes. He can decode a cipher even if it's walled off by connecting to it. So if there's like 2 ciphers left, or 1 cipher left, you can still decode it without being afraid of the walls. And thing like Photographer, if you connect to someone early enough, you can probably pop their cipher before the photo world ends, which will give you a huge advantage throughout the game by having that cipher done early. And yeah, so to summarize, Luca can kite. If used correctly, Luca can kite. He can harass if absolutely necessary, and he can counter some hunters, which is also good. So we've reached the point in the gameplay where I actually do harass. And you'll see, I'm keeping my distance. I'm ready to stun. I know the Merc is by the wall. Hunter is trying to make me use stun, and I'm like, I can't use it. If I use it, Merc dies and we lose. Like, so Wu Chang, he's gonna pick up. I'm ready to stun. Whenever he picks up, I'm ready. I'm there. Even if the Wu Chang uses blink, he can't blink out of this stun. Like, you can't avoid this one. Unless he links really far, and I won't let him do that. So you can see Merc crawling into the pallet, like he knows what I'm trying to do, and I know what he's trying to do. So I actually make it, and then get the pallet stun, and you can see that we were at 2 ciphers before, now we're at one cipher and it's 70%. We've basically won the game at this point, as long as we don't screw it up. Like, because I was there, if I was anyone else, that wouldn't have happened. If I was Explorer, who has better decoding, but he doesn't have that shock, and that shock changed the game, and that's why I think Luca is not as bad as they say. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.